still working on this iPod, seeking to make sure that I know when the mic is on, when the mic is off, all of those kinds of things. So I want you to really work with me in regard to this. I'm recording this and will likely share it. It's playing out. I have my earpods in. Got some music playing in the background. What I want to do in this particular moment is that I am recording an item that is working with Mindfulness Meditation. Those two words, Mindfulness Meditation. And it's in regard to my coaching clients in particular, but also anyone. I have been meditating for a pretty good while. I would not call myself a master of meditation, but I've learned to pray, I've learned to visualize. I've studied a number of individuals when it comes to meditation and prayer and affirmation. And I truly want to take what I'm doing to another level. And so I want to encourage you, if you have that same desire, to walk with me on this journey. When I speak of meditation and prayer, it comes from the aspect that as a young man, I had a certain set of goals that I desired to achieve in life. And to a great degree, God has blessed me to bring about much of that. But I also see individuals who have far exceeded the goals that I set for myself. And it is almost as if I am beginning to realize that when you reach the top of a mountain that you had previously thought was unscalable, unattainable, that you recognize, at least I have recognized, that there are other peaks to that very same mountain, like the Himalayas. And so seek to scale that next mountain as well. And I'll talk more about that. And part of the process of scaling the next mountain for me is going deeper in regard to the experience, or higher in regard to the experience of meditation. So I'm sharing with my clients this aspect of meditation, this aspect of mindful meditation. And we'll talk about that for a bit going forward. And also my clients will become my co-workers and employees, and by the grace of God, owners of the company as well. So we've got another few things going on as we go forward. And I encourage you, if you, our company is called Restore Executive Life and Leadership Coaching and Consulting. We train coaches. We are actually getting a new curriculum developed for training coaches. We call it Life and Leadership. So we actually do executive coaching to be in charge of your own individual life, and then also we do organizational coaching and consulting. So when we say organizational coaching, what we're talking about is the C-suite officers or managers, those individuals who want to look at what we call developmental coaching, where it's the development of the individual. And so meditation and visualization and, of course, goal setting, those are vital. Self-awareness, these are tools, techniques that we use in order to help an individual to become more self-aware and be able to lead effectively. And so this day, this moment, I'm looking at an item that is a beginner's, if you will, a beginner's process of learning how to do meditation and to do it effectively. So you start well, you end well, as we say. And so this is a beginner's meditation. It's entitled Discover the Power of Mindfulness Meditation. And what I want to do is just simply share with you this particular item and go through it. I don't know the length of time it will take. It's got a few chapters. It says Discover the Power of Mindful Meditation. That's number one. It goes through and talks about what is mindfulness meditation. What is mindfulness meditation? It gives a definition of that. And then it makes the case, basically, to answer the question of why do mindfulness meditation? Why do mindfulness? And then it provides some direction of how to do mindfulness meditation, give you a step-by-step guide, and then how to make it a habit. So once you learn how to do it, then how do you make it a habit? And talks about prioritizing your time and taking action and the different meditation styles in regard to that. And then it encourages you to actually go through the process and take the challenge of doing it. Take the challenge of doing it. And this whole aspect of taking the challenge of doing it. And it mentions a 2030 challenge, 2030 challenge. And then it has a conclusion. It's about a 50-page, actually it says 42 pages here, but it's about a 50-page item from what I have looked at, and I may have enlarged the type of the font so that it is clear. I've tried to do it on an 8.5 by 11 sheet of paper. I would be glad to actually print it out and mail it to you. If you send me an email with your address and name, then I can mail it to you because I've tried to actually share it with someone, with, again, my coaching clients, and it did not format well. So that's one of the reasons I'm doing it here as well. That's one of the reasons. And we have some other resources that we will share with you in regard to this. So it mentions that people are busy. They've got complicated lives, and there are a number of things that could happen that cause individuals to have negative emotions, sadness, jealousy, depression, grief, anger, confusion, anxiety, stress, all of this. And in the midst of this moment that we're in, of course, we've got the entire aspect of dealing in this day and time of 2022 with, and over the past few years, the whole aspect of COVID. We've had this experience where we've been basically locked down in our own homes. We have limited access to others, all of these kinds of things. And so learning to actually do mindfulness meditation is important, more so than ever before. A number of individuals have talked about their mental health, the status of their mental health. We've had athletes, premier athletes, who have finally begun to talk about what they had to go through in order to just keep competing at a very high level. So there is a case for mindfulness meditation. There is a case. And so rather than put oneself through all of this type of thing and then pay the price and then later come to the point where you look at the price and recognize it's a very, very high price. And sometimes individuals actually arrive at the point where they recognize how much damage they have done to others. We're talking about really taking yourself in hand now and then going forward in regard to what we're talking about, which is mindfulness meditation. And sometimes it's just easy to just give up and to give in to these negative emotions. And you've heard individuals talk about it, whether it has been Simone Biles last year, I think it was, or whether it was Prince Harry and Meghan, their conversations in regard to that, or any number of other individuals as they have looked at life and told again the price that they were paying in order to be at their level. Just recently, I had to watch the experience of the movie The Harder They Fall. I was impressed with Regina King and her acting and everything like that. Just impressed even with her commercials for, I think it was Cadillac. Just looking at the commercials. And then a few days ago, I recognized the pain that she must feel. I believe they've said that it's her only son, or perhaps even her only child, had taken his life. It's important, please, for one's health and for one's family and one's friends. This is something, and it may not be something that immediately you understand as something you need to work with, but there may be people around you that you might want to share this with. And again, we can give the book to you. We can get it mailed out to you. It's called Discover the Power of Mindfulness Meditation, and we have other resources that we can share with you. So let me go on. It says, on the other end of the spectrum, remember the sadness, the negative emotions, jealousy, depression, all of that, that's one end of the spectrum. On the other end, there's happiness, gratefulness, joy, relief, comfort. There's contentment. There's overwhelming joy. These emotional pieces that we feel at times as we go throughout our lives. True happiness and emotional freedom is what everybody wants. Everybody longs for. They may call it a heavenly place. They may say we sit with the Christ in heavenly places, or they may call it being in a Buddha state of mind. Whatever it may be called, it is something that someone wants and desires. Just to sit in space, as we call it, just to sit in a meditative pose, the lotus position perhaps, and then just simply to be able to shut everything and everybody out and to be at peace even for a moment. And so true happiness and emotional freedom is what individuals want all over the world. And self-care is important. It's important, but even there, sometimes we can fall short when it comes to all of this, because, individuals have had the aspect of they put all the things on the outside, from the clothes, from the lotions, they've got the fragrances, they've got all of this stuff, but on the inside, they are a mess sometimes. And so mindfulness is what we're talking about. Take care of those aspects of physical, but also remember the emotional health needs to take a front seat, not a back seat, a front seat. And so this aspect of mindfulness becomes important. And so this mindfulness and meditation in general helps you handle your emotions, to lower your stress levels, and to feel happier and enjoy peace and satisfaction with your life. That's what we're talking about now. Now, please understand that I'm not just talking about this. First of all, I'm a minister. I've served in ministry for the past 40 years of my life. I am thankful for that. And then also, I have studied. I tell people I've studied. I have a D-Min, as we call it. I studied with the illustrious Dr. Kane Hofelder, who passed in 2009. I love the man, appreciated him a great deal at Howard University School of Divinity. I tell people that the great Thurgood Marshall went to Howard University. The great Chadwick Boseman with the Black Panther went to Howard University. I tell people that Kamala Harris went to Howard University, and Ms. Henderson, I believe, or Henderson, went to Howard University. I may have her Taji. That's why I go through all kinds of things, but I may be saying it wrong. But she went to Howard University. Mr. Coates went to Howard University. There are all kinds of individuals who went to Howard University. I'm one of those individuals who went to Howard University as well. I studied industrial organizational psychology at a place called Walden University. And there were times that, I was going through all kinds of things, but I studied industrial organizational psychology, and I learned this aspect of organizations have a whole culture that is within it as well. An organization has a culture within it. It can be an up culture or down culture. It can be an overwhelming culture, depressing culture. And so we work with organizations as a consultant. And so psychologists, counselors, therapists, the world over have recognized the power. That means research has been done on this aspect of mindfulness. And I've got article after article after article that talks about this. And so any person, you don't need necessarily a psychologist, you don't need a psychiatrist, you don't even need a coach per se, but you should have some level of accountability or community to work with and whole thing in regard to that. So, but anyone can practice mindfulness. Anyone can practice mindfulness. When it comes to meditation, anyone can do that, and I want to encourage you to get started. Even start. That's the thing, to start. Just get going in regard to what we're talking about, mindfulness. Now we're going to do a little bit more, and then we're going to go through this entire process and do the next part, which is, what is mindfulness meditation? What is it? And this quote from Albert Ellis. He says, "You have considerable power to construct self-helping thoughts, feelings, and actions, as well as to construct self-defeating behaviors. You have the ability, if you use it, to choose healthy instead of unhealthy thinking, feeling, and acting." You, the individual, has that power. The person has that power. That's why we want to talk about this more than anything else. It gives the power to make your life whatever you want it to be. That is the greatest power that a person can have. No matter what's going on in the world, no matter what's going on in the country that you're in, no matter what's going on, whether it's in your family or anything, no matter what is going on, if you can understand what I'm saying here, you have the power to construct the life, especially on the inside, that you want. That's part of the aspect of being a person, as the biblical record would say, made in the image of God. But as whatever it is that you might believe or think, you have an incredible power to construct a world on the inside that will manifest itself on the outside, or what we call, you construct it on the fourth dimension and it will manifest on the third dimension. You construct it in your mind, your conscious mind does it in a logical sequence and passes it on to your subconscious mind, and the subconscious mind then will create it so that it becomes something that you can touch, feel, and see. This is one of the reasons for being able to become self-aware, which means to be aware of what's going on in your subconscious thinking process. The biblical statement, because again, I am a person who does the Bible, talks about this aspect of, as a man thinketh, or as a woman thinks, so is he, or so is she. Your identity is based on not on your conscious thoughts, but on your subconscious thoughts. As a person thinks in their heart, in their subconscious mind, in their imagination, what you think about all day long, that's who you are. And to become aware of that, there's no one that can stop you when you are clear about who you are. No one. No one. No race can get in your way. No race can keep you if you keep thinking wrong. No way that can help you. It can hurt you to constantly and continuously think things that are harmful to other people, are harmful to yourself. And so that whole piece, because natural law works. Natural law works. And so I'm going to end this right now. My intent was to alert you that we're going forward in regard to this entire item and talk about mindfulness meditation. And we'll supply you with some videos of individuals who are talking about the how of that, but we'll do another thing here in just a moment, and we'll have it up for you as well. Blessings. Bye-bye.